Well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And before I introduce my next guest, our next guest, who many of y'all know and hold dear and are already part of her community, I want to drop in with y'all and just pause and take a deep inhale for just a second. There's a lot that we may be feeling, things that we're letting go of, and new openings and things that we're allowing in. And with all the energy and the potentiality of it all, I just want to invite us all into a place of presence and peace of one another and reset ourselves here as we talk about the global reset, as we talk about the shift from triangle hierarchy to regenerative circle operating system. Don't get too much in your mind about that. Meg's going to take us into that world and we'll most likely receive an activation in the process facilitated by Meg and Metatron's cube and the energy of the ascended beings to really allow us to have a personal experience of what that expansion is, and that allows us to assimilate and to hold not the potentiality, but the probability. It's like it's already set in motion of what's here for us in a higher vibrational form. So as we take those inhales and exhales and drop into just a place knowing that everything is perfect right here, right now, then we can guide each other through this call and an invitation into feeling just how beautifully we're being supported, how much wisdom there is that we hold for one another, and to hold the gratitude of what we know is already here that we can feel coming. And with that, we are going to drop in. If y'all have questions, if y'all are shifting, if there's anxiety or like this need of knowing that needs to come up, or a sorrow that may be coming in because it all seems too much, or maybe not enough is coming through, we're going to open up to Q&A. Meg made it a point to make sure that we support you. So whatever questions you may have or something's coming up personally, we'll get into Q&A. I'll invite y'all not to get into a lot of story because we could pick up on the essence of what you're asking. And so if you do get into story, I may interrupt you, and I'm not being rude. I just want to hold a container really firmly for everybody so that we can all not get lost in the past, but really invite each other and step into what's available for us now. And so with that, if you're not familiar with Meg, she is not only a dear friend, but a mentor in so many different ways. And the integrity and the refinement in which she holds the consciousness that is available. I'd say she's like 20 steps ahead of most people, if not more. Definitely years ahead in different ways. And vibrationally, we're all catching up to different places that others like Meg have been holding doorways to, that we can have direct experiences with now as well. And again, we're going to get into the numerology, what's happening in astrology, what's happening in the shifts in the global reset, and so much more. And so, welcome to today's call. Thank you for being here. And Meg, welcome to today's call on BTO.
Thank you, John. It's always a pleasure to be
Mm.
in this space with you and welcome everyone who's joining us. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. We dropped in before the call, and immediately I just started feeling like the sense of peacefulness and the slowing down. Um, what's alive for you now? You want to talk about this global reset, but there was a lot that was coming through. You had a membership call earlier where you said that people were processing grief and confusion and other things. What's alive in the field right now?
It feels like, I think, especially since probably the last month or so, we had so much back to back astrology hitting, right? The two eclipses, and we just had the equinox, and so lots going on. Uh, and it just feels like it's been dredging up the deep stuff. Boy,
Mm.
my dream state, some pretty disturbing stuff coming up, and so I think it's it is where we're letting go of kind of our earthly history, aren't we? Like we're really in there and we're erasing out the earthly history and going more and more into what we call the now, the 0 point, the pause, between past and future, just really holding that sacred stillness and potent creative space that we're in right now, because it is a pivotal year. And I tend to be pretty kind of, zen and flowing along through the day. But I've been noticing in the last, because of this year's energies, just kind of doing a bit more of this up and down, right? Some even in one day, right? Really happy and enjoy, and then oof, another wave comes through, and it is like the emotional purging or clearing of, oh my goodness, trauma and loss. And even it's, I think we expected life to continue as it was, and it isn't, so it's having to let that go. Like it's really kind of clearing the deck, isn't it? And so it's uncertain. And I think that's causing anxiety for people. And also, we're we're when we're in an uncertain place like that, it's to pull you in so you can get into your own certainty instead of external dependencies, right? Coming in, and the more that we're able to embody our own divine soul presence, I feel it's like, you plug an outlet into the power source. Well, we need to plug into our own soul power source to
Mhm.
be able to hold this stability as we go through a pretty rapid global reset.
Mhm. I think what's also coming through from my perspective and my different experiences, and I'd love any clarification that you can provide on this as well, is that I have a capacity to feel even more than I did before. My empathy was already pretty significant. I've gone through different versions and waves of relationship with what I was feeling. So a nervous system that doesn't respond in the old traumatic way because I was feeling something, and being a little slower with it, bringing in a little more emotional intelligence and grounded intelligence as well in the pause. And because of that increase of empathy, I can feel what's happening around me, not bypass it, pretend it isn't there, but hold this place of compassion that's very grounded and that can serve with my awareness of what someone else may be suffering through without collapsing into their suffering. And so there's waves of that where I'm learning and acclimating and feeling more deeply than I was before, but I can still hold my center more, not get lost again in the story, not feel like I have to join that wave with them as an empath and take it on like it's mine, but hold back and really hold the space of understanding without the need that it's without feeling like I need to fix it somehow or relieve it, which I understood in the past. I was trying to relieve it because it was uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, no kidding, huh? Yes, yes,
Right.
yes, yes. So being able to be with someone in their pain, their suffering, and be the, I say it's like, a love blanket around them, right? Just be able to uh, emote with them if you need to, but you're not, it's an interesting dynamic because when you're in that 0 point stillness, you aren't ingesting it in. You're just in the 0 point. So you're able to be very present without taking all that on anymore. Like it's
Well, and this takes me back to what I said that it's like your steps ahead, holding the gateway open. When we get into that state, we can be up here, and I say it up here, holding that gate open. It's like this is available. This whenever I'm here, I'm not closing the door. I understand, and not collapsing the gate, which is a vibrational doorway, if you will,
right.
and really keeping it steady so that whenever they're ready, whenever they acclimate, whenever they go through whatever it is that they're here to experience and get to the other side of it, that's steady and that's there. And so I think we're all everybody on this call, if you're here and you're listening to these conversations, you're you're becoming stronger and more resound of holding those gateways open. And that's probably why we're feeling so much also.
Yes. Um, I also think that the more that we're, expanding beyond just the three dimensions of the physical particle field, right? We're opening our field into more the quantum state. And so we're getting beyond just the 3D time, 4D time.
Mm.
We're opening and expanding to the past, present, and future. And so I'm finding, and this is helping comfort myself, but also when I'm with others as well, is I can already tune in to where I am or they are in the future as you're there with them in the now. And so you're able to have them connect to already the outcome, already the result, right? Already the healing, already the new opportunities. Like, so it's not where we just kind of collapse into that moment of despair. We're opening, releasing, and bringing in what's next.
Mm. Well, that's the feminine quality that you talk about. So let's talk about the numerology and let's talk about the feminine and let's get into the triangle hierarchy and how that's shifting. And before we get into that, also you talked about the planets. Not only that have we had all this astrology, but right now we have no planets in retrograde. I'm not sure how long that lasts right now, but
Mid-May to mid-May. We got a
wow.
couple months. Yeah, everything
So,
is
so
forward.
it's like green lights forward, right?
Finally. Yeah. Yep.
Mm.
Yep. I feel it too. I think it was finally all direct last week. And you can just feel the momentum starting to move instead of kind of languishing. So that's good. So also we had okay, let me see, when was the date? But we had the Saturn and Neptune move into 0 degrees Aries. So that's the kind of the big one of this year. Like it just happened, I think in
End of
February.
February.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
February. And we're obviously still feeling the effects of that because then Mars joined it and Venus joined it and Mercury joined. Like, so everyone's like, getting into the Aries party here. Everyone's going into the first degree of Aries. And then on April 17th, we'll have the new moon in Aries. So and the sun just moved into Aries. So on the equinox. So yeah, it's a lot of this kind of water moving into fire, but where I use the kind of the infinity where they're uniting and balancing and merging, and it's a beautiful uh, flow that's happening with those two elements right now. Is the Pisces water and the Aries fire. Uh, we want to, in a way, really kind of, you're riding the wave of the water and you want to fire up the forward go, right? The new beginnings, new opportunities. Okay, so when we're talking about how when I get in, so I work in the quantum vortex and I go way out and I kind of look down on the world. All right, what's going on? So I kind of get the bigger picture. And I've been seeing this new world system, well, since my awakening. So this is, and then 30 years ago, 32 years ago, I started working with Metatron's cube and working closely with Archangel Metatron. And embedded in Metatron's cube is the symbol for the new operating system that is coming online and is replacing the one we were all born into, which was the triangle top-down power structure. It's called the hierarchy or the patriarchy, all of those words. And it's in its final stage, and this is why it's not working so well. And it's also, think about it, a top-down system. This is where all of it's designed not to support the world, but to really concentrate the power at the top. And we've been dealing with this for thousands of years, is like the feudalism in the Middle Ages. This has been going on for a long time. Well, that's what's so amazing about the astrology that's happening now. So when I started working with Metatron's cube, embedded in it is the circle containing the triangle. Okay, so this is a whole different configuration. The circle is the feminine, the triangle is the masculine. We've been in kind of a imbalanced triangle, masculine dominant operating system. And so we're shifting into the unification of the feminine containing with the circle, the triangle. So that's what Metatron's cube has activated. And so 1994, I started working with it through the 90s. By 2000, I already began to see and sense, of course, it's the future coming in of this new earth, this new circle operating system. So when I opened a website in 2000, I called it New Earth Central. And so that's been kind of my whole focus, 26 years of this new system, of the circle around the triangle. Interestingly enough, also in esoteric symbology, that's the symbol of the Stargate, John. So not only is it the new system, but it opens us to more of the universal rhythm, which is the spiral, it is the circle, right? It's the torus. And so 2000, the millennium, is when it really kind of activated. In numerology, 2 represents the feminine. So we were in the 1 millennium of the masculine dominant patriarchal triangle system. And so on the millennium start, 2000, everything began to begin. It's a gradual shift, isn't it? It even started actually, and I grew up in the 60s and 70s. It started in the 70s when we had the women's liberation movement. We already started to get the infusion of the feminine coming in prior to 2000, but now it's really ramping up. And so there's a lot of terms, calling it the rising of the feminine or the return of the goddess. There's lots of terms, but really what it is it's the feminine circle containing the masculine. It's the return of the wholeness, not where we're replacing the top of the triangle with women. That is, this whole matriarchy thing is kind of gotten out of hand. People are confused. No, we're not replacing men with women. We're
One
going
can exist without the other.
Right, we're going into a completely different system. It's not swapping out, dominant women. Okay, so I just want to make sure everyone's clear on that. It is now when we talk about a circle system, what does that mean? It means it's inclusive, where the triangle is exclusive, right? It's inclusive. It's a level playing field. Everyone is equal. Even though you may have a role as a leader, you're still the same level, equal to everyone else who's bringing their skills to the circle, right? To the team. It's very collaborative, and it's heart-centered, it's community-based, it's soul-led. The triangle is ego-led. The heart and the soul leads the circle. So it's on. Its game is on. It's online. It's active. I moved into it. I moved my whole life into it. I've been living in it and operating in it, and it's extraordinary. When did it really kick off? For me, I was guided December 12th, 2019, which in numerology was a 12-12-12 day. And it was a powerful Metatron day. And I was told very clearly, go to Mount Shasta and run a big activation, a public activation. So I did a rented space, and then lots of people showed up, and we did the Circle New Earth 12-12-12, really fired that up. And that's when the whole system just really separated, bifurcated, and is lit. Then we go immediately into the shutdown and the pandemic. So this is when the whole world began to change rapidly. That's only 6 years ago. So it's here. It's alive. It's active. The triangle tends to run on spectacle and illusion, right? And it's really what it is it's asset stripping. That's what they're doing, right? They
it's
go
reactionary for sure.
Yeah, it's predator capitalism. It's all about extraction, and the circle is regenerative. It's nurturing, and it pulls us back into the rhythm of nature with our planet and with the universe again. uh, there's really no crossover. They're very different timelines, very
Mm.
different systems.
There's a big shift as I was talking today about our experience in Egypt. Meg and I, and with a group of people, we were in Egypt about a year and a half ago. Was it 2024? 2024.
October 24.
And I was speaking very specifically about our experience in Saqqara. And a lot of people are starting to speak again about the Lemurian and the Atlantean timelines in different ways. And I was being asked about the influence and what brought in the distortion that caused the collapse of those consciousness in those ways. And it took me into a balancing that came in that we felt that were based on the Orion wars, that there was outside influence coming in, and we somehow inherited that distortion that came in. But specifically when you and I in Sakar, we felt this big shift on where that war had kind of settled. It had been idle for a while. It was over, and it was just finally like whatever new seeds were planted there, we'll call it in peace, in the feminine aspect of it, we're finally coming to from the root up into the soil, and we felt gateways opening
Mm.
in Saqqara in that particular way. It was unmistakable, and it is from that. It felt very feminine. It felt rather than the masculine warring for control over something, something opened up profoundly during
So
that time.
yes, and I'll tell you when we walked in there, I was almost overwhelmed by the aggressive alien warring energy.
No,
So
no,
that
no, you weren't over. I'm going to share this with so much love, and I know Meg will allow me. Meg, when we were in Egypt, she goes, "I'll go anywhere except Saqqara." And so it was finally the day to get there. I go, Meg, come on, it's different now. It's different. We can do this. She's like, I don't know. Because it's you, I'll say yes. Because it's you, I'll say yes. And it wasn't the experience that you thought it was going to be.
well,
Something
I
new dropped
felt it when
in.
we walked in. It was still there, but then the gates opened and it
Yeah.
was the full feminine fusion into that space. And it became so sacred and powerful. And John and I were standing there and we were running the vortex, and literally I could see the stargate opening up above us. It was huge and open to the galaxy. And I think that had been all closed down by the alien interference in the to me the triangle system is an artificial system. It's an unhealthy artificial system, so it was imposed on the planet.
Mhm.
Anyways, yeah.
And what was shifting from that? And you talk about this beautifully. And it's part of what Meg's going to teach you if you decide to go deeper with her. But it's part of where the extraction system had finished the triangular masculine control manipulative system, extraction system. Let me see what I can get from this and just
Right.
suck it dry, if you will,
Parasitic.
and into upgrading it. And the gateways landed because we were landing a regenerative system. I'm not saying that Meg and I opened it entirely, and we were there and we can feel the energy, and there was something through our consciousness that we were igniting in the grid work as well. Other people have gone to that land with innocence, but also an authority of the energy that they carry. And we've all somehow have been seeding the regeneration of these lands, whether you've been there physically or you've been working in the quantum with Metatron's cube, but really spiraling in such a way where you're expanding with Gaia instead of contracting and inverting, harming yourself. And
Yeah.
so tell us a little bit about the extraction system compared to the regenerative system.
It's a bit similar to what I mentioned earlier, where
Okay.
instead of you embodying your own divinity and being your own source, your own soul source, we're empty inside, we're disconnected inside, so we have to go outside ourselves for energy
Mhm.
and life force and source ourselves externally. And so anyone who is operating in that disconnection, uh, and so this is like entire alien races we're talking about who go to planets and they basically are a parasitic race and suck up all the resources of that planet. And so that's on the bigger level. And then individually, we see it, of course, in addictions and codependency and all these ways that we're trying to extract energy from others. And then we're extracting it from Earth by pulling out all this oil and metals and water for AI data centers. And I mean, it's just all
Mm,
extraction, and there's no return. It's just taking. There is no return. So the circular system is the opposite. It's what we send out, we receive back in, and it's initiated by giving, not by taking. Right? What our soul signal into the field responds and returns back to us the match. What we give out from our hearts with love and compassion, the universe is cycling that back to us. So it's a completely different way of running our energy. Instead of trying to, like you said, suck it from wherever we can get, we're giving and then receiving it probably hundredfold back.
hmm I have a question for you before we get there. Y'all, I mentioned that we also want to support you if there's something coming through, if there's this like if there's this thing that you don't know or a specific question that you have, raise your hand. We'll get into some Q&A here on the call also. You can type it into the chat as well. So again, the invitation is that because we want to support in these transitions that are happening, that there's a lot of emotions
Yeah.
and a potential volatility that might be immersing, but we're here to ground each other. It's like really assure each other that as we align and we know how to ground in and expand appropriately, that there's so much beautiful opportunity waiting for us, truly. Um,
And what could be
before,
even getting triggered, John, too, might even be past life trauma from
mm,
when you encountered. It could be from the collapse and the invasion during Atlantis. Like it could be there. This is just hitting you hard because you're seeing similar. Right, you can
I
just,
got the chills when you said the invasion of Atlantis. That's like
yeah,
it's so alive and wow, wow.
it doesn't feel good, boy. And it could
Mm,
just bring up that emotional memory or cellular memory, and you're not sure why am I feeling this way, and yet it it's getting mirrored to you and what's happening in the world or around you. And instead of trying it, I think our tendency is to escape it, right, and to kind of split out of the body, right, avoid it and dissociate it, which I even started feeling myself try to do that last week or so. I'm like,
mm,
whoa, 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 we don't do that. I had stopped that decades ago. But I realized I had like a wounded child fragment that I had to work on bringing home inside me this week, and it was quite frightened and panic and traumatized. And so if you are getting charged up like that, if you're getting triggered like that, try to just come in and be with wherever you're feeling that energy, because that could be that timeline in your incarnational wheel here on the earth plane was not resolved or healed or transmuted. And I have found this in so many of my clients, especially those who had Atlantean timelines. There's a lot
wow,
of devastation from that time.
wow. There's quite a few people that I talk to that fear that they have the power to push the button from Atlantis and blow it up so that they're running that type of devastation type of energy. Can you bring some light into
I don't understand
what
that.
they may be picking up
Yeah,
on when
yeah,
when they keep thinking that they're part of the downfall?
I know. What is that about? It's possible they may have been seduced by it or lured by
Thank
it,
you.
or promised something, by
It feels like a
the,
virus in the consciousness that's
yeah,
like
it's
it's
like
like a guilting,
bizarre.
shaming, something else that's trying to hold you back that isn't true.
No. And as far as I can tell, and this is just for me doing, for 30 years, a lot of past life work with people. So it's kind of like I get to look in and see what happened through all these different
Mhm.
souls, right? And so you kind of start to piece it together like a puzzle, right? Oh, this happened. The catastrophe and the downfall, the devastation wasn't from the ground troops. It was from the invading
Invasion.
race. And so if
I
you're
had that
carrying,
conversation today.
right, if you're carrying some concern that you would misuse, that's a fear, isn't it? I will misuse power somehow. I
Yeah.
will harm people if I misuse power.
I can't be everything that I am because I might hurt somebody,
Uh,
right?
do you have some unconscious part of you that would hurt people? If so, you can work on moving that out.
Yeah.
There's no way that you have to live with that. You don't have to just surrender to that.
Right. Right. So, but before we get into some Q&A, Meg, how can we become conscious if we're running extraction energy personally
Yeah.
versus regenerative? And
Yeah.
if we become aware of it, what is it that we can do to really bring resolution to it so that we can really move forward in the regenerative way?
All right, it's a great question because we all were born into it. So we all have some of this. Think of it like software running in the background, right? We all have some of it. Like I was in the corporate world, that's a top-down extraction system. My father, authoritarian patriarch. I was in 12 years of the Catholic school, patriarchal religion. Like you guys, it's everywhere in our schools, in our communities, in our families, our religions, everywhere. So you start to look for that. I would say like the mindset, or you're looking through that lens. Oh, I just realized I saw that as higher and lower, right? Greater than, less than. That's the lens. You don't want to have that anymore. So it's like I just go in and I start peeling that. It's like the viewing lens, right? All right, we're getting that lens out. All right, we're getting that mindset out. We're clearing the software of the triangle out of our minds, out of our, it's literally a structure. Think of it like framework to a house. We have to blow the structure out. We have to pull our energy from it, pull our power from it, pull it back inside you into your chakra pillar, into your energy body. We are extracting ourselves from it in a sense, so that you watch for anywhere you're trying to get energy from outside you. That's part of it. Anywhere that you're in that polarity between superior and inferior, that's part of it. Like you start to look for all the signs that it's running in all of us and telling you there's not enough for everyone. Oh, that's a big one. Lack. There's not enough for everyone because it's
Mm.
designed for just the top. The bottom tiers are never being supported. It's not designed for us. It's not designed for us to be supported. So watch for any lack thoughts. Okay, I better not do that because I might not get it. It might not be enough. And this is all from the triangle system. So it's literally programming in the mind. It's a perspective of how we see it. It's a structure system that's running in us. The ego is our top of our triangle within us. So the ego's controlling us. And then look for anywhere that you have agreed to or plugged into someone being an authority to you. So this could be your partner, this could be a family member, this could be a boss, right? This could be anywhere that's running. You start to gracefully but firmly pull out, pull your energy from it, pull so you're not feeding it. If all the bottom tiers pull out, that entire thing is collapsed. That's what's happening in the world. The entire thing is collapsing because it
Yeah.
runs on our energy. So when we pull out, it collapses.
Mm. Mm. And y'all are going to experience a process going into Metatron's facilitation, I'll call it for right now, um, that helps us spin this energy out, what doesn't belong here out. So it's a beautiful, oh my God, I'll call it a portal that we can step into and use this technology to really facilitate the clarity that we're seeking. So it's not just a mental thing that we're doing, and it
Mm-hmm.
goes beyond our emotions also, and it facilitates that empathy for self and compassion to really let go of what isn't ours to hold and to spin into greater clarity and high vibrational state where those things can no longer linger. They actually get spun out into another creation and really sent out to source, if you will. Um, Let's get in a little bit of Q&A. We'll have that experience later on the call, y'all. And again, we'll get into Meg's special offer because what she's offering in this processes and the clarity that comes through is extraordinary. Um, there's actually a question, and I'm going to get to y'all who are on video right now in just a second. Um, Tina is asking, how about this energy about having ancestors that hurt people?
Uh,
Could it be that as well? Because there's an ancestral responsibility that some of us still carry and hold on to like baggage, like it's our job finally to transmute it.
Similar to when we pull out of the triangle, you start to close out, disconnect, cut cords, pull out of the ancestral lineage that is causing harm. So in a way, you're the final chapter. You're closing it down. So it's not going to continue through you and onto your descendants. So in a way, that could be what your sole purpose is to shut that family lineage down. And it could be, of course, any kind of abuse. I came into the pedophile abuse program. Like, this is something that is still, I'm
Mm.
still healing and clearing. And I was surrounded by it. And so we've come into certain systems that some of us are like what I would call like system busters. Our souls decided to come into some of these very dark systems and shut them down, dismantle them. So we don't have to, we are not at the mercy of the ancestral lineage, even though that's been passed to us and encoded into us. We have the power to transmute it with light, cut all cords, cancel any agreements, shut it down.
That's beautiful. The way I describe it in my process in different ways this time, it's come through different meditations, different holding fields as I keep tuning into and connecting to spirit more and training my nervous system into a capacity of receiving and letting go simultaneously. And for me, simplistically, it's about, wait, what boundaries am I willing to put up with that ancestral lineage? How
Right.
can I keep holding those boundaries so I can hold a container? And then those boundaries eventually dissolve into a standard that I hold. I'm not contained by the boundary
Right.
and stuck in my own castle, if you will. And the moat surrounding me, I can't swim to the other side. We raise to a vibrational that we start holding a standard that becomes an expansionary field, but we have to learn how to feel safe first and to deserve it and then be able to hold that. So that's why the boundary and just the awareness is part of the alchemy. And again, that's my simplistic way of putting it together so that my mind can make sense of it and I can hold something steady. What were you going to say, Meg?
It's very similar to what I also similar analogy. It's kind of like you were born into this ancestral lineage, and it's like you're in their box, right? You're
Yeah.
it's locked you in the box, and so we use the vortex to blow the box off, and so then you start to live now as your true divinity, not what's been boxed around you.
The vortex is awesome, y'all. I can't wait. I've been having private sessions with Meg since December, I guess. Wow, wow, wow. What comes through? We're going to experience the vortex in a little bit on the call. Let's go to some more Q&A.
Okay.
I'm going to call you Kelly for now because I don't know how to pronounce your full name. But if you'll unmute your microphone and tell us your full name, please. Welcome to the call.
Uh, Calicia.
Alicia, welcome. Thank you.
So yeah, I just kind of jumped on. I'm so glad to
That's
just
great.
connect with the both of you. Yes, I can attest. The vortex is definitely
Mm.
been a lifeline, and yes, Meg has been extremely helpful for me. I have been feeling so much just peace, just tranquility and okay with not a whole lot going on materially in my life, but there's this little part of me that's still kind of like, well, but wait, I need to make more money. So there's that part of me that's still like, even though I'm in so much peace and so much tranquility, but what about the future? So
Yes, I do. I do. And this is something that's a concern for everyone, as long as we're in a world that we still have to have money to live. What I found, Khaleesi, I would try this is as we activate the Metatron's cube and we really get that circle template open, I just started pulling in everything into the circle, including my money flow. So you just start, it's a, because we've been running our money flow in the triangle. It's not going to support us, right? So we start to bring everything, our businesses, our clients, our websites, however, our jobs, whatever we're doing for income streams, we start to pull that into this circulating flow in the circle. It's a completely new flow. It's an infinite flow because it's just circulating constantly. It's a continuum. It just keeps circulating. So it never runs out. There's no, you got to do this to make this. You know what I mean? Like there's no um, uh, conditions placed on it. It's just literally once we open up the channel, it's a continual flow in. And my sense is most of us are kind of straddling the two. We haven't fully pulled over to, and so this is when it hit me in 2020, 2021. My income just started dying. I'm like, oh, I've been running my business in the triangle. Like it's not going to work anymore for me because we're now completely out of sync. And so those were the years I had to completely kind of restart, reboot how I make a living, get my business all polished up and rebooted. So this is I've been ahead of it a little bit. The world's now doing it now, but I started doing it after the 12, 12, 12. That 2019, 2020, and 2021 is when I really just realized I can't make it anymore in the triangle. I have to shift my entire income stream over. Is that making sense?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely heard that before. I'm just not really sure I understand when you say pull it into the vortex or
I'll show
like,
you how to do it. We'll do an activation. And so Metatron's cube is literally encoded with the circle system. And so
Mhm.
by running it, I do it daily, running it, you start to just probably without even knowing it, you're starting to shift over into this. This is an operating system. This is like going from Windows DOS to Apple iOS. Like they are completely different operating systems.
Uh-huh.
So you want to unload off Windows and get into Apple iOS. You want to pull yourself into the new system.
I mean, I
Mm.
know I feel way better whenever we activate the vortex. Yeah, I think maybe my mind doesn't totally understand how it's working. And
Well, and part of the simplicity for me also is why am I trying to create money? What's my reason behind it? And it's like what's my real reason? It's like what am I trying to create it from survival because I have to it's like have to keep up with consumerism? Do I have to keep up with the triangle? Do I have to keep safe from it? If I don't have this, am I going to lose something? Into, hold on a second, I'm creating a flow of output because it's serving me. I'm expanding in it. In my expansion, I'm able to serve others in my overflowing cup. And as I generate that, more gets generated because now I'm in the flow of the circle instead of creating from the top down, which there's
Right.
always never enough in that.
Never enough.
And so we may create flow in that triangle, but then somehow it collapses and we run out, and then we have to enslave ourselves again to
All
build
over
it back
again.
up.
Yep.
And we get it, but we have to buy the bigger house and the nicer car, and our kids have to go to this particular school that's going to screw them up anyway. I was going to say fuck them up, but I was trying to be
Yep.
nice.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and it's just we get into those cycles that are build, destroy, build, destroy. We're warring with the system within ourselves. When we bring it into the cube and into the circle, we start generating with the fluidity of love. Once love is given, it can never be taken away. It only expands and grows. And so there's this exponential field that we feel ourselves flowing into and creating with. And then opportunities seem to expand. We find that we're working less, but generating more. We find that
Yes.
even when there seems to be scarcity, we're so full and abundant that the scarcity isn't real because we know that there's another season of fruit that's already bearing on the other side. And so rather than be in panic mode because things aren't demonstrated in the way the hierarchy says it's supposed to be demonstrated, we're unaware of the fluidity that we are in that circular system that there's always plenty. We always have enough. Do you have enough right now, Calicia? Of course you do,
Absolutely, I do.
right?
I'm
Right?
great
So
right
the
now.
so, so
It's
the
just fear.
so
Yeah.
the fear comes from that
Yeah.
triangular system. It's teaching you have
Does.
to be afraid because you're going to run out, and you're not, you're screwed.
It's the
Right.
programming that you want to remove. It's
And
the
so we're
triangle fear.
removing that from the
Yeah.
circle.
Also,
So
too,
that piece
Calicia,
must.
don't focus on the vortex. Focus on the torus because that's the
Mm,
circulation. So what we give out flows right
Mhm.
back in, and it's just a continuum. Focus on the torus flow.
mm.
That's does that help? That's replacing the triangle.
Yeah, visually. You're saying visually? Yeah.
Running your energy that
And
way.
running the energy that way. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Ah,
That
Great
love
clicks.
that.
Yeah,
question.
thank
Yes, it
you.
was great to see you. Yes.
Thank you.
Khaleesi, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Um, Tina says that she would raise her hand, but her cat's in heats. So, any help with the energy that showed up 2 days ago, causing pain in my right side? The physical pain, is that something that you deal with in the, it's for me, I have a hard time with physical pain. It's like always we have to get checked out and do it. But what is it energetically that we can do to support, maybe bring more clarity to what's going to relieve maybe what's coming up physically?
Physical pain is a sign of congestion, so it means there's something's backed up. So if it's, if it's in a joint, the energy is not moving freely through the joint, right? And a lot of, headache, neck pain. That's the stuff is clamping down, right? It's compression, it's congestion.
Mm,
So I use the vortex to loosen the congestion, right? Okay, let's just start opening it up, loosening it up. I do talk to my body and I talk to the energy and go, why are you compressed? What are you gripping? Why is this here? And so tuning into the energy of the pain, not just the pain, tune into the energy of the pain. Why is it happening? What is it here to show you? It could be all kinds of things. And a lot of times it is just anxiety, but if it's right side, that is your masculine side. So it could be some kind of patriarchal energy where it could be this life, it could be past life, it could be someone's pushing on you, like it could be all kinds of things. So you are getting into this again, we're talking about this circular
mm,
flow, so we're getting into this relationship with ourself and our own energy and paying attention, right, being more inner focused, and then you're like your own doula, right, your own midwife, and you're helping yourself birth alive and release all this congestion, release all the pain. Yes, if you have some kind of medical issue, please get medical attention, but if it's something that's just an energetic congestion, we can move that. I move that out all the time. Another
mm,
little trick is you could run. So you're going to use your right brain, you're visualizing, you could run an infinity of light at the site of the pain. I do this often too. And the infinity is a unifier, it's a balancer, and it neutralizes whatever is that charge that's holding there in the body in the pain. So there's little tricks you can do, but first I think we would talk to your body intelligence, ask why the pain's there, give yourself love. What can I do to bring ease back in and let this, whatever this is holding, it might be it's just like oil on water, it's trying to push out, but it's stuck a little, right, and you're just going to help it lift out.
That's so good, so good. Y'all, I'm telling you, Meg can show you very directly how to decode the old system. Again, decode the old system, shifting from hierarchy and patriarchy, from that extractive energy
Yeah.
into the regeneration, into the circular, into the overflowing cup, the
Yeah.
chalice, if you will, of life, of vitality, right?
Yeah.
From decoding into applying particular techniques to help your system reset. She's got a method for that. It enables you to expand your container of light and what you hold and maintaining that in a vibrational coherence. And from that vibrational coherence, from that 0 point field, what you can activate in creation and infinity flow and what comes through and your expanded awareness, not the protective safety, oh my God, I don't have enough, I got to get, but in the infinity flow and to go through, it's funny, I was going to say alchemy, but I want to say the cosmology of that,
I love
which
that.
is which is really interesting that that word is coming through.
Well,
Um,
this is a universal, it's how the whole universe runs. We've been in an unnatural, artificial triangle, and we're returning back to how the entire universe runs. It's a spiral. We're in a spiraling galaxy. Everything is swirling, isn't it? It's all circular. And the other thing I wanted to add too is when we first have our awakening, we're really wanting to start to engage with the field, right? Engage with spirit. But we have all this distortion in here. So the signal we're putting out, it's got a lot of interference patterns in there. And that's what we're sending out to the field. And the field is mirroring that back. And you're like, what is all this? I don't want all this. And so that would be right. That would be my first clue is what's getting mirrored back to me. Okay, that is not in balance. That's not good for me, right? And then that's where I go and focus to start clearing out that distortion. So watch what's getting mirrored to you if it don't feel good, right? If that's not what you want, you need to clean up your signal that you're putting out into the field so it's clean, it's clear, it's strong, right? You're a transmitter, send that signal out, and then the universe is like, oh, I got you, baby. And it sends it right back and it shows right up.
I'm getting a funny picture in my mind. It's like we're talking gibberish and we're putting a signal on our satellite in gibberish to the Arcturians up there and they're like, oh, they speak gibberish. Let us respond back with gibberish. And then they're responding back and we're like, we don't get what they're saying. We feel something, but we don't get it. I'm even more confused, but they're responding until how we're talking to them. And then we kind of like raise a vibration. We start learning how to talk like 2-year-olds instead of gibberish. And so they're responding back to us like, oh, they want this, but no, they really want that. But the 2-year-old only knows how to point in this direction. So as we learn to communicate, as we clear that distortion, they're like, oh, they're speaking
Yes.
this language now. Okay, we get it. And so the articulation as we become clearer is the response loop back. It's like I've never put it together that way before.
Yeah. Like I was giving out mixed signals all the time. And so, of course, I'm getting mixed signals coming back, and it's all
Wow.
confusion. It's like, I didn't want that. And, oh, what is this? And my life is out of control. I'm like, oh my God, I got to clean up my signal.
I wanted vanilla ice cream, not chocolate. How do you not know? Oh my God. Y'all, let's get into the special offer because what I spoke about earlier, the cosmology, is what Meg is taking us through and the way that she's able to help us formulate and hold and really bring in critical thinking with an expanded awareness of what's true and the essence of what we're able to carry and put forward into creation is really extraordinary. And I'm telling y'all, if you'll apply these techniques, that there's a sense of just knowing. We can call it sovereignty and power, but I want to call it just a liberation from the distortion.
It really is. Also, too, is it's like we're cleaning our signal, but we're also cleaning our energy body so then we can really embody the soul. That has been for me the goal. That's my goal, embodying the soul and living as the higher self, living as a divine human. It's an extraordinary way to live. And
Mm.
the ego just gets quieter. It's not messing things up like it used to, right? The soul, the higher self is quite clear and loud, and so it's a very different way of living. You're living according to your own soul blueprint, right? You're on your master plan. You're on your path, and you're here for reasons. So you're here to contribute what is your soul gifts to the world. We're here to contribute with this shift. We're here to support the shift in all our
Yeah.
different unique ways.
So y'all click in the special offer. The button for the special offers underneath the video where you're watching the call from, either live or on the replay. The link's also in the chat box. You can always find the special offers on beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. If you go there, you'll find Meg's picture, click on the special offer button there. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can always find the link for the special offer in the comments section. Um, Meg, this is awesome. For $97, you're giving everybody the 3 keys to infinite flow. And again, the cosmology that I described is included in there. Take everybody through the experience and through this particular flow that you're offering here?
So this is actually several courses that I taught, I put together in one offer, one package for John. And so it has training modules and checklists and audio meditation downloads. There's a lot in here to support you, but it's introducing you to this new system. So we go into decoding the old system and then how to do the system reset. And as you see here in the imagery, we really start to work with Metatron's cube and get the toroidal flow going, where we're engaging with the field. We're sending out our signal, we're receiving it back in, and it's an infinite flow. There is the only thing that stops it is us. So we start to become our own inner battery and engine, right? And we're running the circular system. And it's because when we get out of the triangle and we get into accessing the entire quantum field, it's infinite. So there's more energy there than any of us could even access in our entire lifetime. So it is so abundant, and to be able to plug into that and be the open receiver of that, it's an extraordinary way to live. So I go into a little bit of what's been happening starting last year, this year, going into next year. As John said, the cosmology of it is quite profound, and it is the reset that we're in the middle of right now. But we become, in a way, our own conscious creators. And I know I think that's also kind of been misled in, if I think it happens. No, you actually have to run your energy with the field. You engage and interact with the field. We're talking about literally sending your signal into the field. So you start to become self-sourcing, self-healing, self-sustaining. You're developing your own spiritual mastery. You're not out there extracting energy from others. So it's a complete new mindset. It's a complete new way of living. And I provided the tools and the steps to make that quantum leap, right? Make the shift into the new operating system, the new circular operating system. As I mentioned, this whole we're like a transmitter receiver. And so what we transmit out, then we want to receive in, but most of us are blocked. Most of our energy body, our chakra pillar has lots of stuck trauma, it's blocked, and you're not able to receive what the universe is sending you. So we get in here and we clean things up, right? We get in and we kind of clear away the sludge from multiple lifetimes in this earth plane, in that triangular system. You're going to be given, and it's all run from Metatron's cube. That Metatron's gift to us during this time is to support us. It's active sacred geometry. Also, the cymatics, if you're familiar with cymatics, this is the patterning of our soul sound waves, the patterning of our soul signal that we send out into the world, into the field. And then that is able to be literally sent back to us. And so this is how I have learned we can be quantum manifestors, because we're literally engaging with the field of all possibilities, all potential.
And this is where physics meets 0 points.
Yeah.
And it really describes it for those of y'all who like to geek out in science and bring it into the relevance of what's happening now. This is fantastic. You're also offering $100 off your quantum access self-healing method course. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so this is Metatron's gift to us. It's called Quantum Access. It's a self-healing method. I started learning it 30 years ago, applying it on myself. I've been working with clients since 1998 with this method, but it's really for you. It's so you can then begin to apply it yourself. So it is designed actually to be a self-healing method, and it's. I would call this my signature program. This is 3 decades of all that I've learned and have mastered myself putting into this program. I'm still filming some training videos. So I'm expecting this to be ready in a week or so. This coupon is good all the way through April. So if you
Wonderful.
resonate with it, you can always email me. I'll send out an email when it's ready and you can take a look at it. And to me, it's a real comprehensive roadmap and the tools to make this shift into the new operating system, into the circle, and thrive. This is not where we have to go through a collapse or a decomposition like what we're seeing in those who are in the triangle. When you pull out of that system, you're operating over here in a completely different reality. And so it's an interesting kind of dichotomy, isn't it? Where you're able to feel the inflow of all that support and universal abundance. And yet you're also, as we talked about earlier, witnessing those who are really in pain and struggling and fear. So it's kind of like, being in one world, observing what's happening over in the other world and holding the space for them, and even being in a way like the bridge of light. And so why don't you cross over the bridge and join us over here into this other world system? That's part of, I think, what many of us are here to do, is be like the light leaders or the bridge of light and help them transition over.
No question. No question about that. Y'all, this is a very robust special offer, and Meg brings it on because she loves us here on BTO. Um, but it's powerful. It's powerful just within the special offer. And of course, going into Meg's signature series, if you're called to that, I'd highly recommend it. And what's offered in the special offer right now is so accessible at $97 with a two payment option on it as well. Um, I
Especially
highly
if
encourage
the
you.
Taurus is new to you, we go into how the Taurus operates and then how you can start to get familiar with running your energy, where it is circulating with the field, opening up your receiver. So it's very applicable. I want you to be like off and running with this. So if it's something new and you feel like, okay, I'm ready to do this is a great start to go into it.
Beautiful. And you're going to feel that tourist opening also here in a little bit because we're going to go through an experience in just a few minutes. There's a couple of questions that I want to take
Sure, sure.
before we dive into that. But again, y'all, the special offer as we move on to questions again, take advantage of it again. The link is in the chat box, and it's also underneath the special offer button, the video where you're watching the call from, either live or on the replay. There's a question that came in, and I want to address it again. I know we've addressed it a little bit, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Carrie wrote, I feel like I did something wrong and caused something to happen in Atlantis. I have a hard time with putting myself out there and being seen. Is there a way for me to clear this? It feels like a frequency fence that I can't get through.
The first thought is it yours or is it something that's being imposed on you? So it's externally sourced, that's being, we were talking earlier about being boxed in. If this frequency fence is trapping you in and making you feel responsible for what the invaders did, and if that's the case, what I do, and where we will get the vortex spinning, is you target. So this is where you use the power of your mind and you focus on that frequency fence and you target it and you command it, and we'll use the vortex and you can start spinning that out of your field. Especially what I found is if it's external insertion, that thing just blows out. If it's your own cause, let's say, right? Something that is kind of a karmic loop, something that you set in motion somewhere along the line, that could then require some sitting with it. So you sit with it and ask if there's anything else left that I need to acknowledge or understand, any kind of wisdom to impart, and so that it can let go. If it feels like it's completing and resolving, then it will release. So the focus on the frequency fence and ask, did I initiate this? Did I cause this? If I did, please show me what I need to learn about it or
Mhm.
understand about it so I can set myself free from it.
Beautiful.
I still don't feel like it's hers though. I think it's external.
I don't think it is either. I don't think it is either. But you gave her plenty to work with. And again, we'll
Okay.
get into the cube here in a little bit. Thank you.
And the
Jenny, let's go with,
the triangle is
oh,
a blame game, you guys. That's how it
yeah.
operates. So we're watching it now where it's blaming, all kinds of people of color, and like it's just a blame game, and we are wanting to be completely outside of all that.
Beautiful. Jenny, welcome to the call.
Thank you, John. Hi, Meg.
Hi, Jenny.
A quick question. So I've kind of been through the whole releasing thing and have released a whole lot, but now my sleep is like I can't sleep for more than an hour and a half at a time. And I was wondering if that's just the after effects of all this releasing, or if there's something else that could be going on.
Well, it's definitely, I can feel in you the sleep patterns are out of rhythm. So one of the things that we can do is when we get into, so you can run the infinity around the left and right brain to start to bring it into a 0 point coherence. Feels like there's a fibrillation in there somewhere that's throwing the brainwave sleep pattern off. Oh, okay, let's lift that out. There's some kind of distortion that is rising up and out of you. Just let that lift. Okay, there goes. It's right, let's run the infinity again. Run left, right brain, just harmonizing as we continue to embody the soul. So it's like I say, it's kind of like think of it like a well, right? We're in here and we're dredging out, right? We're clearing out all the gunk out of our well, right? So we can fill with our soul presence. Let the soul energy, the soul light, your soul sound waves, your soul frequencies just start to harmonize you. Imagine like every atom is starting to spin and hum and vibe with the soul energy. You start to attune all your biosystems to your own soul pulse and rhythm. Okay, that went right into your brain waves. Let's bring it into your sleep pattern, especially with the melatonin. Okay, well, we're more releasing. Ooh. You definitely had some disturbance in there. It feels like it's something that doesn't want you to drop in deeper sleep. So there's, let me ask if it's from the psyche, something in the mind, the brain that's kind of like you get to a certain point and then it's like an alarm goes off, right? It just kicks on. What if you remove the alarm? I don't need that alarm. Thank you, human psyche. Thank you. I don't need that alarm anymore. It's okay. It's safe to drop into deep sleep now. I won't leave my body. I won't astral travel. I'll stay in my safe energy field. Okay, there it goes. It's lifting out. Woo. Whoa.
Thank you.
Woo. Yeah, some kind of coping mechanism. Whoa, woo, it's still on mine. And it's unplugging. It was in the neural pathway. So it kind of corded in there. It's pulling out. Ooh. Okay, there's lifting.
Thank you so much.
Let's run in the infinity again. So again, you're harmonizing. Let's just get everybody into their own soul rhythm and pulse. Just kind of, my own song, right? My own sound waves. That's it. There we go. Ooh, and it just is like ripples on a lake, right? Just smooths everything out. Good, Jenny. That just went right through your neural pathways in the brain. Like a calm lake. So what does this mean? Means we have to kind of keep an eye on that, lower, less developed part of ourselves, the human part that could be, it may feel like it's trying to protect us, but it's actually outdated. And it's like for you, it was really disrupting your
Mm.
sleep, which we need desperately to have for our health and our well-being. And so if
Mm.
things should pop up like this, talk to your human. Just I have to reassure her at times because she gets all, lit up, and we're like, we're safe, we're okay. That's an old, because I noticed I was starting to dissociate a couple weeks ago. I'm like, oh no, 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 we don't do that anymore. Right. Let's just, so I had to kind of lift more of that out. We're safe inside here. Actually, the safest place we can be is in our chakra pillar. Safest place, nothing out there can get to it. Safest place is in your chakra pillar. Okay, good. That
Beautiful.
pulled you more in, Jenny, and pulled you in.
All right, Jenny,
Yeah.
blessings to you.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Welcome, my
Mm.
dear. You're so
I
welcome.
think this is a beautiful segue to get into our process today. And before we get into the process, Meg, a couple of things, y'all. I want to ask you a personal questions on an experience that I had this morning in meditation. And I don't want to ask until after the process because I'm curious if someone else, I don't want to impose my experience on anybody else's experience of what they may receive in the transmission. And so I'll ask afterwards. As we're dropping in, y'all, take the opportunity, drop in more deeply with Meg. Take advantage of this special offer. I'm telling you, it's what's coming through. And not only Meg's been teaching this for decades. Our capacity to hold that vibrational field has expanded to such a place that we can not only hold that, but expand it within our own sorority and creative field as well. And it's a beautiful time. If you have not experienced this work before, or if there's another layer of it that you're ready, um, it's no time is better than the present, truly. Again, we're so empowered. The alignments, the clearing that we've done in the field, what's rising in the patriarchy is only rising because we're rising vibrationally in the regenerative
So
field.
true.
And in
Yeah.
that, things have to rise because they have to come back, and there's a reconciliation that comes as it collapses so that it can raise into that feminine energy as well. We're not destroying or killing anything. We're vibrationally attuning into the new level of consciousness that's for everybody to access. And so it's
Yeah.
powerful
Like
work that
what's
we're
not
doing.
compatible can't hold any longer.
Yeah. Yeah. So
No.
extraordinary, y'all. If y'all
Yeah.
are driving, if you can pull over and just kind of breathe with us. If
Yeah, it
not,
would be good if you could not be
if
moving.
not, we're gonna run the replay. You can follow along, but try not to get, you know what to do while you're driving. And for all of y'all at home or listening to replay, just drop in with us. We'll end the call with my question. Um, and with that, Meg, I'm going to turn off my video and audio so that you can guide everybody without me in the field. And I'm going to be
You
participating as well. So thank you.
have me on a share, John. I'm going to just want to bring up the circle image of Metatron's cube. And so just if you're new to
Absolutely.
Metatron's cube, John has been working with it for many years. And there's a lot of people out there still saying Metatron's cube doesn't work and it doesn't spin for them and it's made of
Yeah.
archons. And like, okay, I'm just here
Yeah.
to let you know, I've been working with this Metatron's cube template since my awakening 32 years ago. And so and as John, if you want to add to this, it does require higher coherent frequency to run. It is designed not to run on egoic agendas or to be misused, and because it's power. And so
It won't run with ego and distortion and agenda. It won't. That field is too intelligent to allow itself to be manipulated into something else. Megan and I had a deep discussion about this because someone was saying it's archonic energy. I'm like, no, it's not. And I tuned into my own channel and I heard very clearly it's like because they're going to misuse it
yes,
because they have an egoic desire out of it that will fall into an aspect of manipulation, and the lights won't turn on for those types of energies. It just won't. So it's I was very clear. My channel was very clear as to why some people would interpret it like that, but you also have to look at who's interpreting it that way.
exactly. Exactly. So
Yeah.
it is very intelligent. So what reason I brought this up is we're going to work with it, and you don't have to force it. Okay. It knows what to do. Really, all we have to do is kind of like flipping a switch on an engine. We just give it our energy, we give it our energy, we give it our light, and it already immediately starts to respond to us. It's so intelligent and knows exactly what to do, and it will begin to open up a vortex of energy around your field. And this is it runs two ways: centrifugal, spins energy outwards, kind of like a laundry, right? You're like spinning dense water out of clothes, right? You spin density out. And then centripetal, this is the vortex vacuum, and it pulls light in, it pulls soul energy in. So we can, and you tell it which, all right, we're going to spin out. Oh, no, we're going to pull in. Then you let it do its thing. You don't, because when we try to actually put our own mind into it, it will stop it too. So these are just a few little cautions I wanted to bring up
That's
before
wonderful.
before we start to work with it. Okay, I'm going to pull up. This is the image that I started 30 years ago to work with. Okay, so you can get this image. This is the Stargate code. It's embedded in Metatron's cube. Metatron's cube has so much in it as the 5 platonic solids. It has the tetrahedron is one of the 5 platonic solids, and also it's a container. So it has the circle containing all this. You can also see in this image there's the double star tetrahedron, which is the geometry of the torus rotation. So this thing is coded for what's happening right now. Now we're going to imagine like you're now seeing it flat, like a 2-dimensional template. We're going to get our feet on it and we're going to ground to it. And as we give it our energy, we give it our light, that code of the circle will start to fractally expand outwards, and just let it go to where you're comfortable. It's going to be a big circle at your feet. We start to pull our energy into the circle, right? We start to pull our lives into the circle. We pull our money flow into the circle. You pull everything into the circle. And then as the vortex starts to open around you, it's going to rotate right to left. You don't control it or it will stop it. Just let it rotate. But what it's doing then is it's converting that flat 2D template into the orb of light containing your aura. So this is where the circle starts to fractally replicate in multiple ways. It becomes our operating system, and it becomes our container, our orb of light as we are in the world and going through regime, reset. Okay. So keep this image in mind. We're all going to work with this image. All right. So I'm just going to walk you through the steps. You can have your feet on the ground because we want to use the full body to ground and connect to Metatron's cube. After the vortex is up and running, you're welcome to relax back if you're more comfortable doing that. But let's first just get grounded with our feet. So we're going to come in, turn inwards, coming into our bodies, into our breath, just opening up the inhale, exhale. Opening up and breathing in life force, breathing in light, breathing in chi into the lungs, into the heart, into your chakra pillar. We're starting to open the vertical flow of energy in the chakra pillar. Okay, there we go. Starting to get the energies moving here. Let's continue to open up the energy. Let's come down, sit into the hips, into the root chakra. We're getting into the lower body, lower chakras, continuing to run your energy down the leg channels to the feet chakras. And let's lock our feet chakras like magnets right onto Gaia's crystalline light grid. Lock right on. So you're connecting your electromagnetic field to Earth's electromagnetic field right on the light grid. Okay, that's it. There it goes. Locks right in. So we're grounding first. You can also extend roots of light from your feet chakras, if you like, into the grid, into the ley line under the surface. All right, that's it. There you go. Next, we're going to also connect our feet chakras, grounding onto our soul's path of light. Kind of looks like a runway of light. And this is your home base, right? This is where you want your whole life to be running from. This is your soul's incarnational timeline. Okay, that's it. Everybody locking onto their path of light. Whew. Okay, and we have our beloved Archangel Metatron stepping in, and he is embedding Metatron's cube under your feet in your grounding. You're going to step into the center circle, and you'll see all that code, all of the geometry under your feet. Let's give it our energy, give it our light, give it our life force. You're starting to activate it, start to turn it on. That's it. There it goes. It's just like turning on an engine. And as it starts to receive your energy, your light, it begins to tune into you and begin to respond to you. So this is the extraordinary intelligence encoded in here. So just let it feel you, let it tune into you, let it respond to you. Okay, and there it goes. It begins to open and unfurl spirals of light opening up around the body aura. It's moving right to left and forming a vortex of light. There it goes, up and around you. And we're going to go faster. All right, let's start to spin it towards the speed of light. And as it does that, it's a 45-degree angle outwards. It's opening and expanding your energy up and out into the higher dimensions. And you stay in your body and you stay grounded to earth. But we're moving into the realm of spirit now. We're already in the physical. So now we're moving into the wave state of spirit. That's it. There you go. Moving into the quantum field of past, present, futures, the field of all existence. And just allow yourself to go weightless and blend and unite and merge into the field. This is the universal field of abundance. Oh, there we go. All the way in. Becoming one with all that is. You're still maintaining the integrity of your own inner soul frequency while you're one with the field. Oof. As we connect to the field, the vortex is spinning very fast and it's collapsing any dense barriers or veils or energy walls, energy membranes. It's just collapsing them out where we are able to be in both the physical realm and the spiritual realm simultaneously. There they go. They drop out. Everything that we spin out with the vortex goes directly to creator source light, recycle into light, into transmutation light. There goes more out. We're just removing those dimensional barriers, gravitational barriers. Whew. So we can be both spirit and human. So as we're in now the vast field of all that is, let's connect to our soul origin. So just with your own intention, with your own command, you can visualize I'm connecting to my original God spark, my soul spark, my origin. I'm connecting to my soul cluster. I'm connecting to my home star. Wherever it exists, I'm connecting through my unique soul frequency. I'm connecting where I'm there and I'm here through quantum entanglement and I'm linking up. It's called phase locking. There you go. To your divinity. To your soul presence, to your soul energy. And now that we've got the vortex spinning, as I mentioned, we can spin energy out, but we can also use the vacuum inside the core of the body of the vortex and pull energy in. So we're going to start to pull the soul presence, the soul light, the soul energy down the chakra pillar, down the crown, breathe it in, pull it in, call it in, down into the body, down into your chakra centers, all the way to the pelvic floor. We're calling in, filling in with soul light, soul essence, soul consciousness, soul presence. And there it goes in. So you just feel inside so healing and nurturing and strengthening. And this is your own divine presence coming inside you. Whew. Your chakra pillar, your energy body is the home for your soul to fill in, to merge in, to descend in. And in this process, we're bringing soul and human together to start to integrate and blend and unite and become whole again. Okay, so we've got the circle and it is really pumping at our feet there. And so let's tune into the circle symbol, the circle codes. You have your soul coming down, your receiver filling down inside you. We want to start to pull all our energy into our chakra pillar, into our energy body, into our circle, just pulling in all of your life force, pulling in all of your light, pulling in all of your living space, pulling in all that is of value to you, all of your loving relationships, your business, your job, your income flow. So start pulling it in, your health and well being. We're pulling it all into our circle. We're pulling our energy away from the triangle hierarchy. We're pulling our energy away from anywhere we were trapped in the triangle. We're canceling and revoking any agreements to participate in the triangle extraction system. Cancel, revoke it now. You can imagine that you're tearing up a live document, tear up that Akashic record, and put it in the refiner's fire of source light now, null and void, cancel, revoke it. Okay, there, that energy is lifting off you. Whew. Pull your power inside you, pull your light inside you, pull your energy inside you away from that depleting, decomposing triangle. Woo. Yes, all the way in. And because we are bringing our soul energy inside us, we're bringing our soul presence inside us. Imagine you're plugging inwards into your own soul power source, plugging inside to your own soul power source. And your energy body, your chakra pillar, is your receiver of this infinite flow coming down into you. Okay, so here we go. Receiving in, infinite flow coming down into you. You're in the circle system. The circle codes are starting to activate the circle system inside you, getting you into that operating system. Ooh, there goes right up the body. Ooh. Circle operating system activating within you. There goes again up the body. Ooh. We get into the flow of it instead of forcing it or pushing it or muscling it. Just flow, receiving in, opening your container to fill inside with all that supports you, all that provides for you. Okay, good. More coming in. Because the circle is the feminine, I always have this sense that I am shifting into Divine Mother's circle. I'm leaving that artificial, unnatural triangle hierarchy and stepping into Mother's circle. And it nourishes us and it replenishes us, it regenerates us, it renews our life force. It supports us, it sources us. Okay, good. That's shifting some more. So that we can actually source ourselves and thrive in this new Earth circle system. Coming in, filling in. You might be feeling some of the old leaves. So we're going to use the vortex one last time to clear out what can't hold in the circle operating system. So I'm feeling things start to kind of unlock and unwind and lift off. And so if you're feeling that, we're just going to move it into the vortex and bless it and release it and spin it out and send it all back to source light. All this old energy that can't hold, that can't remain. It's of the old triangle system. Okay, there goes more off. It feels like structures coming off, the triangle structure leaving. Oof, we spin it out, command it out, reverse it out, lift it out. There goes more off us. I'm feeling it unplug from the back of us. That's the past. So we're pulling away, we're pulling forward into the now. We're unplugging where it was plugged into us, draining our life force, pulling out of the old structure, the old triangle, the old system of extraction, parasitic feeding and draining on us. Okay, there's more coming off us. Whoa, good job, you guys. We send it all up into source light now. Done, complete, null and void. As we reset inside into our own pillar of light, into our own open receiver, into our own circular flow, into Divine Mother's circle operating system of the new earth. And there we go, as that locks in with our feet, landing at our feet on our path of light, making it earthbound. Whew, there it goes. We set this into motion now. And so it is. So it is.
Wow, Meg.
You're all lit up.
Oh my God. Y'all, y'all take advantage of Meg's special offer. There's this and so much more. And of course, come back to the replay and come back and access this and get into this field. The more we do it, the intimacy that we build with it, the facilitation, it's like things become even more loose the more we get into it. And it's just this refined field of clearing that comes through on a continuous basis. It's like, again, Meg does this on a daily basis, so it's so powerful. We'll run the replay. Y'all will be able to access that. Look for an email for us. You can always find the replays at beyondtheordinaryshow.com/replay. And again, the link for the special offer with Meg, the link's in the chat box. The link's also underneath the video where you're watching this call from. You'll see the special offer button there. Meg, to tie it into my meditation earlier, and
Yes.
this felt a little bit differently, but when I was meditating earlier, I went into such a deep sense of just myself, and my pillar had gotten activated, and I was using part of the quantum spin that you and I work with. And when I was in that, I was going so high and connecting to something so expansive, my tailbone physically started vibrating.
Wow.
I haven't had that in years. And not with that much awareness. What do you think that was?
Well, my sense is we have crystals in our bones, right? We have piezoelectric crystals in the bone, and so they can start to hum, they can start to vibrate because they're crystals.
Mhm.
That's what they do. They amplify frequencies. And so there's a lot of times where I will literally be tingling and vibrating everywhere. And so there that could be where it is
It was my bone. It was like my physical bone. It was
uh-huh,
crazy.
uh-huh. It's it felt like it was grounding you, but also into such a high dimensional pillar. Like, so is, yeah, wow. And I
And
think
I was,
that's one of the great things about getting a real big perimeter of your circle so that you're not top heavy, right? You can really hold going high.
mm. And I had invoked the connection with the land. There's a
Ah,
shamanic ritual of Wadidi is what it's called. And there's an invoke Wadidi, Wadidi, and that's calling in reverence of the land. And of course, I'm here on in Lemuria, if you will,
you
y'all,
are.
in Hawaii. So I'm
Yeah.
calling in the spirit as I was going up in that connection. I felt like that rootedness, something in that allowed me to go deeper or be more physically aware consciously of what was being activated through my central channel is profound.
But also too, it feels like it's roots of light now instead of dense roots.
Yes,
So they're vibrating roots of light.
that makes sense. Oh my God.
This is what, so this pillar of ours is in a transformation. And
Mm.
I've been watching this over the past few years. Well, actually since 12, 12, 12. So since 2019. And it's like the kind of the human chakra pillar that we were all born into is evolving very quickly now. And so we're used to it being, very dense down there in the root, right? And it's the prime colors, and that's all changing. So that what I would say is we're letting go of the human energetics and we're replacing it with the soul energetics. This pillar is becoming your soul home, right? Your soul pillar. And so I don't see those prime colors anymore. I see the soul crystalline light in the pillar now. Like every chakra is crystalline light now. It's a fascinating transformation happening. And the pillar, the original human pillar is there's this little thing, and now the soul pillar is big, right? It can
Mm.
hold, as a big container. It can hold so much.
Oh, God.
Quite, quite,
Y'all,
quite extraordinary. And this is
yeah.
all in your soul blueprint. It was all designed before you were born. It's all from your home star, like it's from your origin, your pillar, your soul light body. It was all designed for now to get turned on.
Mm. So y'all, I want to end today's call just with the awareness. There's a lot of things that are shifting. It can feel uncomfortable. It can be feel very like a lot of energy and a lot of emotions coming
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
And as demonstrated in my experience of what's awakening in different ways, there's excitement about what we're creating also. So as we get into the heaviness or the release or the resetting, just know that the opposite is true also. There's an expansion energy. There's so much possibility. There's a flow in our creation. There's you and Meg and the others that are showing up in these activations and holding those pillars and thresholds of light, of liberation, of super consciousness.
Yeah.
And y'all are part of it. So while we're mourning a lot, there's also a lot to celebrate simultaneously. Every ending is a beginning. And wow, the
So true.
doorways that are opening, the beginnings
Yeah.
are just profound,
Yeah,
profound.
don't lose touch to what is opening, even if you're processing through the grief or all of that. Just stay. That's why I felt like as long as I can see and sense and feel the future coming in, I'm good. I can just stick with stay in the moment and be with what's coming up because look what's sliding in. It's
Mhm.
amazing.
It's 4 times this week and very specific places. And I read it in your special offer also. So it's, y'all, this is a message coming into the field. Every ending is a new beginning. And I invite you to hold it in your heart with the highest of potential, knowing that your love is activating a field of so much power and grace, and that we are in gratitude for you because you do that. So thank all of y'all for what you do and the way that you hold it, for your vulnerability, your authenticity, your sovereignty, and your willingness to explore what else is possible in your love. It's a blessing to be here with all of y'all. Meg, you're freaking amazing. I love you. Thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you
Um,
everyone for joining us. My pleasure.
all right. Y'all have a great afternoon, and we will see y'all on the next call. Bye, everybody.